Imagine for a moment that you'd re-standing at the edge of a vast ocean, the waves crashing with untamed force, and you hold in your mind the unshakable conviction that you can command those waters to part, not through magic or wishful thinking, but through the sheer power of belief. This is the essence of empowerment through belief, the first profound shift that occurs when you truly embrace the idea that you can manifest anything. It's not about blind optimism. It's about rewiring your inner world to unlock a mindset of limitless potential where confidence surges like a current, propelling you toward your goals with unwavering momentum. Psychologically, this begins in the depths of your cognition. Our brains are remarkable, shaped by neuroplasticity, the ability to form new neural pathways based on repeated thoughts and experiences. When you believe you can manifest your desires, you're essentially training your mind to filter reality through a lens of possibility rather than limitation. Consider the placebo effect, a well documented phenomenon where belief alone can trigger physiological changes, healing ailments, or enhancing performance without any external intervention. This is pseudoscience. It is rooted in how expectation influences the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine, which fuels motivation and sharpens focus. In manifestation, that same mechanism amplifies your confidence. You stop seeing obstacles as insurmountable walls and start viewing them as puzzles to solve. Suddenly, the voice of self-doubt, that insidious whisper telling you're not enough, fades, replaced by an authoritative inner dialogue that affirms your agency. But let's delve deeper philosophically. Thinkers like Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of the will to power, the fundamental drive to assert one's potential against the chaos of existence. Manifestation echoes this. It's an act of will, a declaration that you are not a passive victim of circumstance, but an active creator of your destiny. In Eastern philosophies, such as those in Vedanta or Buddhism, the concept of sankalpa, a resolute intention, teaches that the universe responds to the clarity of your mind. When you believe you can manifest anything, you're realigning with this ancient wisdom, recognizing that reality is not fixed but malleable, shaped by the energy of your convictions. It's a profound shift from existential despair to empowered existentialism, where you author your narrative rather than merely endure it. This empowerment doesn't happen in isolation. It motivates action in tangible ways. Take, for instance, the entrepreneur who visualizes a thriving business amid economic turmoil. Their belief doesn't summon success out of thin air, it ignites a chain reaction. Confidence breeds boldness. They pitch ideas with conviction, network relentlessly, and pivot creatively when setbacks arise. Psychologically, this is supported by self-efficacy theory, proposed by Albert Bandura, which posits that belief in one's capabilities directly correlates with persistence and achievement. The more you act on this belief, the more evidence you accumulate, small wins that reinforce the cycle, turning potential. Yet this isn't just about individual triumph. It's a philosophical stance against nihilism. In a world rife with uncertainty, global crises, personal losses, we often feel dwarfed by forces beyond our control. But manifestation belief counters this by asserting that your thoughts are the seed of change. It's authoritative because it's grounded in observable human history, from inventors like Thomas Edison, who manifested electric light through relentless belief despite thousands of failures, to activists who envisioned equality and mobilized masses. Their stories remind us that limitless potential isn't a privilege for the elite. It's inherent in all of us, waiting to be awakened. Of course, this mindset demands discipline. It's not passive daydreaming, but an active engagement with your psyche. You must confront and dismantle limiting beliefs ingrained from childhood or society. Those philosophical chains that whisper, know your place. Through practices like visualization or affirmations, you cultivate a mental fortress where doubt is exiled and potential reigns supreme. As we explore this further in the coming points, how intention shapes reality, breaks barriers, and transforms challenges, remember that empowerment is the foundation. It boosts not just confidence, but the very essence of your being, motivating you to step into the arena of life with purpose. So I leave you with this. Dare to believe in your boundless power today, for in that belief lies the key to manifesting tomorrow's triumphs. Act on it and watch your world transform. Now, let's step into the second transformation that unfolds when you believe you can manifest anything: the remarkable ability to shape reality with intention. This isn't about waving a wand or chanting affirmations into the void. It's about harnessing the focused energy of your mind to align your thoughts, actions, and the world around you. When you embrace this belief, you become an architect of your own existence, channeling intention like a laser to carve out possibilities where others see only chaos. This is where the psychological and philosophical meet, creating a potent force that doesn't just dream of change, but actively molds it. Psychologically, intention acts like a compass for the mind. Our brains are wired to seek patterns and meaning, constantly filtering the flood of information we encounter daily. When you hold a clear intention, say, to build a meaningful career, foster deeper relationships, you're reprogramming your brain's reticular activating system, that neurological gatekeeper that decides what grabs your attention. Suddenly, opportunities that align with your goal seem to appear as if by magic. It's not mysticism, it's just your mind prioritizing what matters. Studies in cognitive psychology, like those on selective attention, show that when we focus intently on a goal, relevant cues are overlooked. A budding entrepreneur with a vision for sustainable fashion, for instance, might spot a niche market or a key contact at a conference, not because they read luckier, but because their intention sharpens their perception. This is the science of manifestation. Your belief directs your focus, and your focus directs your reality. Philosophically, this idea resonates with age-old wisdom. In Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Your intentions are the dye, coloring not just your inner world, but the actions you take and the responses you elicit from the universe. In Eastern traditions, the concept of karma suggests that intentional actions ripple outward, shaping future outcomes. When you believe you can manifest anything, you tapping into this principle, not passively waiting for fate, but actively setting the stage for what's to come. It is a deliberate act of creation where your thoughts become the blueprint and your actions the construction crew. This alignment of thought and action is where the magic happens. Consider someone who intends to heal a fractured community. Their belief in manifestation doesn't stop at visualization. They act with purpose, organizing dialogues, listening with empathy, and building trust. Each step reinforces their intention, drawing others into their vision. Social psychology backs this. The theory of planned behavior shows that intention, when coupled with belief in one's ability, predicts action far more reliably than chance. Your intention becomes a gravitational pull, attracting resources, people, and circumstances that align with your goal. It's not about forcing outcomes, but creating conditions where they naturally emerge. Yet, this process requires clarity and commitment. Vague intentions scatter energy, precise ones focus it. Philosophically, this echoes existentialist ideas of defining one's essence through action. Jean-Paul Sartre argued that we create meaning through our choices. When you believe you can manifest anything, you choose to live intentionally, rejecting passivity. You not waiting for permission or perfect conditions, you reshaping them. This is why stories of innovators like Marie Curie, who pursued scientific breakthroughs against immense odds, resonate so deeply. Her intention to uncover truth wasn't just a wish. It was a disciplined focus that aligned her relentless work with groundbreaking discoveries. As we'll see in the next points, overcoming barriers and transforming challenges, this intentional shaping of reality builds on the empowerment we discussed earlier. It is a dynamic process where belief fuels intention and intention fuels action, creating a feedback loop that turns dreams into tangible outcomes. So here is the challenge I leave you with. Clarify your intention today. Let it burn brightly in your mind and take one bold step to align your reality with it. Because in the precision drop of your focus lies the power to create a world that reflects your deepest desires. Let us dive into the third transformation that unfolds when you believe you can manifest anything, the power to overcome limiting barriers. This is where the belief in your limitless potential becomes a battering ram, shattering the walls of self-doubt and societal constraints that have held you back. It's not just about dreaming big, it's about dismantling the mental and external obstacles that make those dreams seem out of reach. This process is deeply psychological, rooted in how we perceive ourselves, and profoundly philosophical, as it challenges the very frameworks that define our reality. When you embrace this mindset, you not just navigating barriers, you rewriting the rules of what is possible. Psychologically, barriers often stem from what cognitive behavioral therapists call limiting beliefs. Those ingrained assumptions that whisper you're not smart enough, not skilled enough, or not deserving of success. These beliefs aren't born in a vacuum. They're resculpted by years of conditioning, from childhood messages to societal norms that dictate who gets to succeed. When you believe you can manifest anything, you're re-engaging in a radical act of cognitive restructuring. You're questioning those narratives much like a scientist testing a flawed hypothesis. Research in psychology, particularly Carol Dweck's work on growth mindset, shows that when we shift from a fixed view of our abilities to one of growth, we become more resilient. A student who once thought, "I'm bad at math," begins to see each failure as a step toward mastery. This belief in manifestation amplifies that shift, turning self-doubt into a challenge to be met with effort and strategy, not surrender. Philosophic, this is about breaking free from what Jean-Jacques Rousseau called the chains of society, those invisible structures that limit our freedom by imposing rigid expectations. When you believe you can manifest anything, you're rejecting the notion that your path is predetermined by your circumstances, whether it's as your background, education, or the biases of others. This echoes particularly Simone de Beauvoir's idea that freedom is achieved by transcending imposed limits through authentic choice. You're not just a product of your environment, you're a creator of it. This mindset empowers you to see societal barriers like discrimination or economic hardship not as fixed realities but as challenges to navigate with creativity and resolve. In practice, this looks like resilience in action. Consider someone aiming to break into a competitive field like technology, despite lacking a traditional degree. Their belief in manifestation doesn't erase the barrier, it fuels their ingenuity. They might teach themselves to code, network with mentors, or launch a project that showcases their skills. Social psychology supports this. Studies on self-determination theory show that autonomy and competence drive motivation. When you believe you can shape your reality, you take ownership of your journey, finding paths around obstacles others deem impassable. This is how pioneers like Oprah Winfrey rose from poverty and prejudice, not by denying barriers, but by refusing to let them define her. You know, this process ties directly to the empowerment and intentionality we have discussed. The confidence from believing in your potential fuels your ability to act with purpose, aligning your efforts with your vision. It's as a cycle. Overcoming one barrier strengthens your belief, which sharpens your intention, which propels you past the next. Philosophically, it's a rebellion against nihilism, a refusal to accept that life's constraints are absolute. Psychologically, it's a rewiring of your self concept, where I can T becomes I'll find a way. As we move to the final point, transforming challenges into opportunities, this ability to break barriers sets the stage for seeing every obstacle as a chance to grow. It's not about ignoring reality's limits, but about redefining them through the lens of possibility. Right? So, I leave you with this. Identify one barrier holding you back today and dare to question its power over you, because in dismantling that single limitation, you unlock a world where every dream is within your reach. Let us turn to the final transformation that blossoms when you believe you can manifest anything, the ability to transform challenges. This is where the mindset of manifestation reaches its zenith, turning the raw material of life's difficulties into stepping stones for growth and innovation. It's not about denying the weight of obstacles, but about seeing them as invitations to evolve, to create, to become more than you were. This perspective is both psychologically liberating and philosophically profound, tying together the empowerment, intentionality, and resilience we've explored, and it invites you to reframe your entire relationship with adversity. Psychologically, this transformation hinges on a concept known as cognitive reframing. Our brains are wired to interpret challenges as threats, triggering stress responses that can paralyze us. But when you believe you can manifest anything, you train your mind to flip the script. Instead of seeing a setback, like a failed project or a personal loss, as a dead end, you view it as a pivot point. Research in positive psychology, particularly by Martin Seligman, shows that individuals who practice learned optimism see adversities as temporary and specific, not permanent or all encompassing. This shift isn't just feel good rhetoric, it's backed by studies showing that optimistic reframing reduces cortisol levels and boosts problem solving creativity. Imagine an artist facing, instead of despair, they channel that energy into creating a bold new series or launching an online platform. Their belief in manifestation turns rejection into a catalyst, not a conclusion. Philosophically, this aligns with the Stoic principle that there is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so, as Epictetus put it. Challenges are neutral. It's our interpretation that assigns them meaning. When you embrace manifestation, you adopt a worldview akin to existentialist Albert Camus, who saw life's absurdities as opportunities to create meaning through rebellion and creation. A challenge becomes a canvas, not a cage. This perspective is universal across wisdom traditions. Buddhism, for instance, teaches that suffering is inevitable, but our response to it shapes our liberation.